story number 3. The strike update is here and it's happening, and Theo's got all the good news for you. What's happening?
Ain't no good news. We're
Oh, I'm
still
sorry.
striking,
All,
baby. We're
all the
still
bad news.
striking, but
My
nah,
bad.
man, it's not good out there, man. TV met to talk about something, and I think this is the big one where they had Ted Sarandos from Netflix, and had Bob Iger, they had David Zaslav from WB, Bob Iger from Disney. They had all the big guys in the room, and they came up with, "Hey, we got a proposal. We're gonna put some guidelines around AI, have some minimum people in the staffing room." So basically, three big things that I guess they want, the writers want. They want to be able to ensure they know if their movies or TV shows are a success. So they want some kind of rating system. They want to put limits on AI, artificial intelligence. So they're not going to be issues with that later on, firing them because they can use AI. And they want some staffing kind of things set up so that they can bring on people and they can have a writer's staff that people can grow into roles in writing. And I think all three of those things were addressed initially by the AMTP, but of course it was not enough for WGA. And so they pushed back on all the initial kind of proposals by the studios. But I think it's just a ploy, negotiation ploy to see if they can get closer to the middle. But I think they're getting closer than we think. And so they said no, that was like last week. They'll probably sometime this week, but because they're up against the timeline too, right? So the studio's up against the timeline where, I don't know if you saw, a lot of these movies are getting pushed back. Dune was supposed to come out in December, part two, getting pushed to March now. A lot of other studios movies are getting pushed from the fall to spring. And they're going to get to a point, they don't make it soon by October, they're going to push some of the summer movies, right? Because some of those
Yeah.
movies, like we already saw, let's see, Deadpool 3 got pushed back, right? Because they haven't even started that yet. They can't mess up that summer money. That summer guap, man. That's gonna make the net, man. Gonna make their money. So studios are trying to figure out how they can make it work. And let's be honest, these writers and these actors, man, they ain't making enough. So they're hurting pretty bad. So
Yeah.
they're probably itching to get back. So I do predict that we'll probably see some movement here in the next 2 months and probably by September. But it's still, we talked about this. Is this hurting Hollywood in general? Because the people even care about movies as much anymore, right? When we have the influencers now that taking our attention, or TikTok, things like that. So I don't know, Mr. Benja, I know someone is a little bit more removed from this. What do you think from the artist side? Is this something they can win when it comes to these strikes and things like that?
Can they win? I
What does that mean? Yeah,
I
what does that
think
mean?
they're I think honestly, I think they're fighting a noble fight. I back them and support them, but I don't think that it's like going to a battle and we want you guys to fight fair. And they say, "Oh, you want these terms for the fight?" Okay. And then you get there and they've changed all the conditions around the situation. So the situation isn't even the same anymore. Like, we gave you everything you wanted. So yeah, but you changed the now it's like this, and now we can now we can use weapons that you have, but all of a sudden we can't do things this way. And basically what I'm saying is while this is happening, I'm watching the AI space change. I'm I'm hearing about different companies. Like there's a company, Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, is actively
Mhm.
using AI within the company to build out new worlds and characters. And the way they're framing it is as, "Hey, look, isn't this cool? What if we did this?" And they're sharing it with the consumer. So between the consumer and the developer, it's like this co-creation thing. And what you've effectively done is like, okay, they're the workers, but what if I used AI, just talk to the people directly, and we started making this community project, and the workers are getting pushed out slowly but surely. And I don't think anybody is expecting that.
Mm.
It's like reality TV kind of did. We're trained actors and we got okay. Yes, you're correct. Reality TV squad, come in, please. Okay, we're just going to use them. The system's going to find a way to be the system. That's what I'm saying. So
Okay.
I don't think their fight is necessarily the I don't want to say the smartest one, but yeah, that's what I mean, the smartest one. I don't think it's the smartest type of fight because ultimately the system's going to do what the system's going to do. And I don't think they're keeping that in mind enough, and they want things to be fair, but in this fight you're just adjusting the entire landscape and it's not going to play out for you as well as you think it will. So I don't know what's the play they should do. You got to do something, but just saying, "Hey, this isn't fair. We don't like this." That's just going to cause the machine to plug in its siphons somewhere else.
You got to think it's a money thing, right? So the AI issue probably cuts into the studio's costs, right? Because if they can hire AI to write some script that costs that it goes that lower the cost of a writer to build that studio. If they can keep a writing staff small for these shows, then that's going to help them with their costs as well. But the big thing I think the studios are pushing against, especially streaming content, is that the ratings because and that's what messed up everything. And now the people we talked about this, the women from Orange is the New Black, right? They talked about the residuals they got from a hit TV show. No one knows how well that show did. And so they can't
Yeah.
benchmark it to some kind of success metric to pay these actors right. And so I think that's the big thing that I think the studios are pushing against because if they open that kimono, they're gonna say, look at all this money, look at this bag of gold. And you just didn't pay us. And so this is why you think Netflix kind of came up with their own rating. Oh, here's the top 10 list. The hell does that mean? They did that just to get a piece. And then now you also got these third party services like Nielsen and other folks coming in trying to predict what the success metric is. But they really truly give us a sex metric around this, and you're definitely going to see this whole model change. So I
Yeah.
think that's the thing they're really pushing against, in my opinion. But I agree, you can't push against technology and progress, and so the actors and the writers need to be a little bit smarter. And one thing I think they should do, and I'll let you, Scott Galloway, Prof. G talked about this they should probably put limitations on their use against AI systems taking their likeness, work, images, and things like that, and sue any AI system that takes it from them and put some thoughts around how to set that up because I think that's going to be the battle on taking people's art, images, likeness, all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff to pump into these AI systems to emulate.
Yeah, and we come from technology, so we understand that side of things, and being around enough of these actors and Hollywood events and just associated kind of characters in the scene, they don't know what's happening. It's not their wheelhouse. One rule I would say to any of these human spirit activists, real people types, because I'm a technology type, I'm actually a robot. Don't worry about that. I would just say in any fight against technology, chances are you will lose. You work with it, not against it. It's just not the best idea to go up against technology.